So, good morning, my friends, and I hope you're doing well. And today I want to share with you a reflection on this feeling that we all have, which is universal. I personally think it's not even human feeling, that it's a feeling that exists in all sentient beings. It's a feeling. It's almost like a sensation. It's a knowing. And that knowing is the feeling that I exist, that I am a conscious being, or you could just call it being, or presence, or existence, or I am, or just the word I. I. What is this? So, this experience of feeling is referred to as being, presence, existence, I am, or just the I feeling. And it's deeply rooted to or connected to consciousness and self awareness. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio suggests that the sense of self emerges from interactions between the body and the mind, structured by feelings that provide orientation and awareness of existence. Now, I have great respect for Dr. Damasio. He's an amazing neuroscientist. But I would say that actually the self doesn't emerge. The self is the fundamental feeling that we have. And it is because the self exists that we have the desire to know, but also we experience interactions between body and mind. And because we experience feelings, and because we find orientation and awareness of existence. So it's the other way around. But of course, this is not mainstream thinking. Dr. Damasio says feelings are rooted in the physical organism and sensory channels, creating a mental process that constitutes the self. And what I'm saying is the opposite. The self creates the sensory experience and the mental processes. In any case, this existential awareness can be described as a moment of meta awareness, where one becomes acutely conscious of one's own consciousness and also one's physical presence. It often arises during introspection or moments of stillness, leading to an obscure spiral like contemplation of one's own existence and connection between the mind and the body. Additionally, it has been shown that disruptions in brain regions responsible for distinguishing the so called self, which I presume is the ego self or the personal self, that disruptions in brain regions that are responsible for that sense of ego self, which is part of the brain called the default mode network. When these disruptions happen, then they can induce similar experiences, as seen in phenomena like felt presence during sleep paralysis. I'm sure you've had sleep paralysis, I've had, or even psychosis. That's why I always say that reality is only known to a motley group of sages, psychotics, and geniuses. That can happen when the default mode network is damaged, or in deep meditation when the activity of the default mode network is decreased, or even with psychedelics. So these episodes highlight how sensory integration and body processing actually are entangled in our perception of the self. So far, what I've done is articulated a mainstream view, but also why I disagree with that mainstream view. So let's go to what is really happening, in my opinion. And having said that, that's another big question. When I say my opinion, who or what do I mean? So let's go deeper into Advaita Vedanta, where the experience of being, presence, existence, I am, or the I feeling is actually fundamental and has no cause. It is the feeling that is called Atman, the self, and Brahman, universal consciousness, which are considered eternal, immutable, and self-luminous. Okay. The Sanskrit phrase for this is Swayam Prakash or Swayam Prakasha. So, according to non-duality and according to my own experience right now, when I say my own experience is actually the my disappears when that experience happens, that consciousness is not material. Okay, it's non-physical and it's ultimate reality. And it transcends space-time and causality. The phenomenon, or any phenomenon, including the phenomenal world, that includes individual experiences and thoughts and images, all arise due to Maya. But the true essence of existence remains Advaita, pure awareness, pure consciousness that is unchanging and causeless. So, the I feeling reflects the inherent self-awareness of Atman, which is identical to Brahman, which is not subject to birth and death, which is always timeless and always in the eternal now. That's who you are. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. Satchitananda. Let me know if this is useful, and if it is, do share it with those you think might enjoy the sharing.